I just 100% completed Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and it's a great game. It's unquestionably a top 3 2D Mario for me, and it might not be 3. However, it does have one glaring weakness, and that's the boss fights. So today, I thought a good way to talk about them would be to rank them from worst to best. So let's get started. To clarify, I think there's been a little bit of confusion as to what is or isn't a boss fight in this game. Things like the King Boo chase sequence are not classified as a boss fight in my eyes. While it makes for one of the coolest wonder effects in the game, you're not fighting, it's more of a chase sequence. Only 4 of the 6 worlds even have boss fights, and they are Bowser Jr., Bowser Jr., Bowser Jr., and you guessed it, Bowser Jr. And then there's the airships, which have these really generic robot Bowser fights at the end of them. Again, I was very close to not even considering these things boss fights, but then again, I guess it is as much of a boss fight as the OG Bowser fight from the original Mario Bros. That we've seen replicated a million times. But since these things are not very good, we can get through them pretty quick.
Number 8.
The worst one of this bunch is the Fluff Peaks version. The only obstacle in your path are these bombs, which you can jump over very easily. Should take you about 10 seconds. You hit the button, and that is it.
Number 7.
The Petal Isles version adds these spinning torches, which don't get in your way at all. But I mean, I guess it's something very original and unique fight, guys.
Number 6.
Can you believe it? The deep magma bog version of this fight actually makes you do something. You have to pull on these handles in order to stop the flame to get through. I mean, it really is deep and innovative and is by far the best version of this fight. But obviously that's not saying much. I even kind of feel bad for including them in this list, but I guess if these aren't boss fights, then the original Bowser boss isn't a boss either. But is it even a boss? It's more of like a level obstacle than anything. Before we get into the real boss fights, let me give you a little preview of the Shining Falls and Fungi Mines boss fights.
Number 5.
Yes, that's right. Every castle boss in this game is a Bowser Jr. fight. We asked for them to take away the Koopalings, and they took away the Koopalings. I never thought I would say this, but I would rather them have included the Koopalings. That would be better than the same fight over and over again. The worst version of this fight is the Fluff Peaks version, where the environment around Bowser Jr. changes. There's an ice variation and a honey variation. The only thing I found even remotely cool about this was that he'll dive into the honey and then poke his head out, which is fun, I guess. But yeah, it's as basic as this fight gets, with just your environment being slightly changed around you.
Number 4.
Next is the sun-baked desert version of this fight. This is a water version of the fight, but it kind of comes out of complete nowhere. 1, this is in the desert world, and 2, there is no water or signs of water at all present anywhere in this level. Because of this, you would never dream of having the Dolphin Kick badge equipped for this. Not that you would really need it, because like all of the other variations of this isn't very hard. They do some cool stuff with the water though, like the bubbles going up in the air and the water turning upside down. They even have these little spikes come out of the ground to make you swim in the bubbles, which is kind of cool. The weird thing about these fights is they're not bad, but they are just different variations of the same fight 4 times, which is ridiculous. And for a game like Mario Wonder, I just didn't expect these boss fights to be so small scale. Other than the last boss, this is kind of about as interesting as it gets.
Number 3.
The deep magma bog version of this fight is the most visually interesting fight of the bunch. They do the Donkey Kong Country Returns silhouette style, which I never thought I would say this, but it's growing a little bit tired. It was so mind-blowing when they first did it, but they've done it a whole lot since. The cool part about this fight is that Bowser Jr. multiplies, which makes it really hard to see which one is the real one in the silhouette. Except, you can see a very clear outline of his mouth, making it really obvious. This fight would have been a lot cooler if they made you keep track of the real one, like give you a second to see it at first, then make it go dark, and if you keep track of him, you'll be able to hit him. Still wouldn't be great. It would still be the 4th Bowser Jr. fight that you're doing, but I mean, it would be at least a little bit of a challenge.
Number 2.
At number 2, we have the best version of the Bowser Jr. fight, and it's the first one that you do. This is when the magic is still there. You've not yet realized that this is all you're getting in terms of boss fights. Not only that, but it's actually really dynamic gameplay-wise, unlike a lot of the other ones. At first, he turns you big and himself small, and you get a really easy hit, but then, of course, the tables turn, and now you're small and he's big. There's a little bit of an anti-gravity element to it when you're small too, and you have to ground pound him instead of regular jumping on him, which is something you have to realize in the middle of the fight. This is a great fight, and if they didn't drag it into the ground, this would have been a great start for the game. If you didn't see my Mario Wonder video, let me just show you how I reacted to this fight. I mean, I thought we were going full Yoshi's Island with these fights. Oh my god, it's like Dark Bowser from Bowser's Inside Story, and I'm big! What? Oh, they're going like full Yoshi's Island with these bosses. This is amazing. Die! Clearly, we didn't go full Yoshi's Island, but luckily, the game does end on a strong note.
Number 1.
Castle Bowser is a really cool final fight, especially the way that it's animated. It has this musical element that you've seen throughout the entire game. You've got to jump at the appropriate time. It is animated as beautifully as anything in this game, in a game with amazing animations. It does have to be said that, of course, if you play games at all, you've seen the floating head with the 2 hands probably about 1,000,000 times. But I will say this one plays completely unique to all of those, so that is a positive. I love the way he dances. I love timing the jumps. The vibe is perfect. They have these little piranha plants coming out of the side to attack you, making it somewhat difficult to dodge them. And then at the end, the button gets revealed, making it come full circle with those Robo Bowser fights. All you have to do is jump up, hit the button, and it's over. Maybe they were conditioning us all that time to teach us how to defeat Bowser in the end. If every boss fight would have been like this, the game would have had great bosses. Is this the greatest final boss of all time? Not even close, but it's pretty good. It is acceptable, no question. In a game that is so amazing, that did so much right, it honestly baffles me how little they tried with the boss fights. Like, it wasn't even that they were bad, it was legit just they didn't try at all. It is the one glaring weak point in this fantastic game. As I said before, I've got it top 3, and it might not be 3. So if you want to see where I have it, I might do a ranking of every 2D Mario now that I've 100%ed it. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments, and let me know what you thought of the boss fights. Maybe you are different and you thought they were amazing. And I would love to hear your perspective if that's the case, because it would be a unique one. Anyway, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.